Let's do it one more time. But this time we're going to overreact to both a positive and negative from this spring. So, Jim, what positive and negative are you going to overreact to from the Mets this spring?
Well, David Peterson's going to be in the Cy Young mix this year, the way he's pitching, Sal. Come on, 12 innings, no runs allowed. He's got allowed one hit. This is unbelievable, the spring that he's had. I will give him a lot more credit because I didn't know. I thought this would be more of a competition than what we've seen so far between he and McGill, but I mean, he has taken that opportunity and just run with it, and especially without Quintana there in the rotation, I think that this is a perfect timing for him. He has to be the guy, and I would put McGill into that bullpen. So I think from the positive side, from the negative side, obviously the Diaz injury, we know we keep going down that road. There hasn't been a ton of negatives, thankfully, in the camp there. Maybe a mild negative would be the fact that Alonso and McNeil haven't been getting any bats in the WBC, and they're going to have to really speed up here this week.
Yeah, I agree with Jim. I think the Diaz injury is the huge black cloud over Mets camp, unfortunately. But there's been a lot of positives. And for me, the main positive is Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer are both healthy. Honestly, guys, all you want them to do is still be breathing heading into opening day. It doesn't really matter for me results-wise. As long as there's not an alarming drop in spin rate or velocity, you need these guys to build it up and build it up slowly. They're 38 and 40 years old. So watching these guys make their regularly scheduled start, having no setbacks, having no arm issues, I think is a huge positive for the Mets. Just getting out of spring training for a lot of these veteran guys that have so much mileage on their arms is a huge positive.
And, no matter what, for me, the positive is, you look at prospects and you hope for the best, but you can't really tell what's going to work out and what's not. And Brett Baty looks like the real deal. In terms of players in baseball who have had a significant amount of at-bats, he has the highest batting average. He has the highest on-base percentage. He's up there in OPS. And, he's improving significantly defensively. I mean, you're looking at him and I say, hey, that could be your opening day third baseman. And I've just been impressed, too, with the quality of contact and the baseball IQ that I've seen from this very, very young man. In terms of negative, we talked about Edwin Diaz, and obviously that's a huge negative, but I'm also looking at Brandon Nimmo. He was signed for 8 years, and, they say that he's going to be okay for opening day, but the fact of the matter is that despite last year, Nimmo just has not stayed healthy during his career. I averaged it out. He averages out about 86 games per year, and now you're like, well, was last year kind of a flash in the pan? Is this the type of player where the Mets are going to be locked in and he's going to be significantly hurt for long stretches?
One positive, I think, from the Mets is the defense of Baty and Alvarez both this spring. All right, Jim, what positives and negatives are you overreacting to from the Yankees this spring?
Well, I think, listen, Clark Schmidt got off to a good start, but I got to go with Anthony Volpe in the way he has played. He's not the next Derek Jeter, but I will say he's stayed in their camp much longer than I thought. I thought they would have sent him out by now and, just gotten him ready for the regular season, but I think he's played himself into a potential role. If it's not at the opening day, it's going to be early in the season. So I like the way Volpe has swung the bat. His OPS is over almost 1,000. Had a couple of home runs, one opposite way, so we've seen more power there. I think the negative part of it is obviously Rodon, but Montas in particular being out for the whole year for them. If he was going to be your fifth starter, I had high hopes for that rotation. With him being out there, they are into their depth already. I'm a little bit concerned about Severino. There's a couple of things that I'm concerned about there with the Yankees rotation right now.
No question, negatives with the rotation going into the year, which is supposed to be maybe the best rotation in all of baseball. Throwing Bader, too. No center fielder for the Yankees as well.